Jim Benton is one of those author-illustrators that really exemplifies the all-age emblem and title, if there were a title with a Mr. All-Age, he'd be competing in it and might win for Catwad, if nothing else, because if you go to an elementary school library, Catwad is one of those graphic novels that kids know, kids love. Case in point, when Fann Club, Batman Squad, came to our door, our current 8th grade student said, "Hey, this is from the guy who did Catwad." Isn't it? So yeah, it's from the guy who did Catwad. He's also done a handful of other stuff, like Attack of the Stuff, or Victor Schmud, or what else? Fanny K. Stein, or Dear Dumb Diary book series. So many other books that somebody in elementary school is going to love the stuff that Jim Benton did. And this is one of those books that it really classifies as a great all-age graphic novel because it hits those ages that are like in 3rd grade, all the way through those upper middle school kids for 2 reasons. Fann Club, Batman Squad is not fan fiction, it's not alternate reality stuff. Basically, you're talking about a kid who really likes Batman. Ernest Fann is the typical 9-year-old goof kid, and this is the universe where Batman really exists. And Ernest decides to take in some of his friends to solve crimes on his own. And what happens in Batman Squad is that you've got a lot of sight gags, but you've also got a lot of written gags, a lot of puns, a lot of jokes. It's got a very high joke-to-page ratio. For us, it had one of the highest joke-to-page ratios that we've seen since Dogman, since The Investigators. And that's some heavy competition. You mentioned that, and that's the deep end of the pool, because if you mention a great original graphic novel series for upper elementary school kids all the way through middle school, that's going to hammer it in, because if you still go to a middle school library, Dogman is going to be there. And you think Dogman's far too simple for middle school kids, but they love to read it, man. It's their comfort food. Fann Club, Batman Squad is going to fit in that same vein because it's got a lot of jokes that are visual, but it's also got a lot of jokes that you got to read, and you got to think, and you got to in-tune and impart your middle school wisdom. And it's got a lot of jokes too, and kids love Batman, man. It's really great. I was really surprised by reading this because, A, our 13-year-old loved it, and our 11-year-old, who doesn't really like to read at all, he enjoyed it. I think mainly because the 11-year-old really likes Catwad, and he was waiting for the new Catwad book. Maybe there's a new one coming, maybe there isn't, but he was engaged in this one because he recognized the art, he knew the author's name, and he said, you know what, I'm down with this. Aside from that, even if your youth has never seen Catwad, knows Catwad from Greek, doesn't know it, this is a great all-age graphic novel that's going to speak to them because it's funny, it's a chapter book, so it makes those younger kids feel like big kids because they're reading chapters just like their big brothers, their big sisters, or their big neighborhood kids down the street. And it's going to speak to those kids 7 and up, all the way through middle school. Check it out, why don't you? It's Fann Club, Batman Squad, and it's going to be great for ages 7 up.